Welcome back, guys, to another video. I wanted to talk to you guys about this new medical insertion into the near future with this Trump administration. And I hate talking about politics. I even hate using the term Trump administration or Biden administration. They're all on the same administration, folks. There's just a lot of distractions, but one thing that you can bet your bottom dollar on is that when it comes down to medical procedure and medical practices, usually both sides align and they usually agree. Just go back in time when COVID occurred. No matter if, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. But one thing that we all knew is that Trump and Fauci, whatever you want, both sides were in agreement. Nobody was against the thing that you get put in your arm. Nobody was against that. I mean, in terms of the political realm, there was no one speaking out against it politically, because that'll be political suicide. Because when there's a grander agenda, they use distractions to distract most people, and they sneak in these initiatives. Now, why I am making this video is because AI is going to be used in the near future to create the V word that rhymes with machine. They're going to be using that to, quote unquote, cure cancer, to cure diseases. They're going to be able to create, using artificial intelligence, using AI, they're going to be able to create the V word that rhymes with the word machine to cure diseases in about 48 hours. Less than 48 hours, but 48 hours is the max. They can do that. No trials needed, no testing, just create a concoction that they're going to inject into your arm to help cure cancer. Now, that's the claim. Now, many people can claim anything, but the grander agenda is the concoction. Whatever we can do to make you go get the concoction is the MO, is the motive, is the modus of operandi. The COVID scare was not the issue. The issue is to get the mRNA concoctions into people's arms. Now, you may say, but that's a good thing. They're trying to cure cancer. You cannot cure disease alienating the culture and alienating the lifestyle and operating as if both are mutually exclusive. And let me explain what I mean by that. The culture is at a dis-ease. The culture is carcinogenic. The way we live, the way we eat, the way we breathe, the things we drink, our lifestyles induce cancer. So it's very, very counterproductive to come up with a concoction. And I don't believe this concoction is going to eliminate cancer. It's not about eliminating cancer. America has never gave a damn about people dying. The world has never cared about people dying. As a matter of fact, America is an empire. It's better to rule a small amount of people versus ruling over a larger amount of people. So you have to control the cattle. They don't want people having too many babies. That's why they do this Planned Parenthood crap and, all these abortion tactics, whether it's you taking the morning after pill or whatever. People find out ways to eliminate the chances of having a child. And they also make it very difficult to have children because they make everything so expensive. Daycare costs, food that you buy for your kids, everything is increased. So people now are actually very, very reluctant to have kids. People aren't just having a lot of kids as they did in the past, because back then you needed your kids to work the farm. A lot of people had larger families. If you talk to anybody, especially like people, great grandparents, they would have like 9, 10, 11 brothers and sisters, sometimes 19. You don't see that happening. That's like rare. If you see someone having multiple double-digit children, that's a huge anomaly. That's not something that's happening normally. A big family nowadays, if you have 4 or 5 kids, that's a lot. Back then, 4 or 5 kids was like nothing. You would have to get in the double digits to be considered a large family. 10, 11, 15, 19. All right? Women were having more babies back then because you needed the production, you needed the numbers in the house to help, to support. Whether you were working on a farm, however the cultures were back then, it was conducive to having plenty of children. But the modern day society that we live in, it's not very productive to have a lot of children, because either you better be filthy rich, and if you're just a common average person, you're gonna be broke, because kids are expensive. And I hate to even say that, because children are supposed to be something that's considered a joy, something that we should all embrace. Whenever new life is brought into the world, we should all be applauding that. But because the way our society is, we live in a token-based economy. You live in a token-based economy, you're going to have people counting their pennies, counting their dimes, counting their nickels, and no one wants to have children suffer, because we're ruled by the dime. If you don't have enough money, that dictates your decision-making. So this idea that there's going to be a concoction made with the use of artificial intelligence, and how this artificial intelligence is going to be used is that it's supposed to, according to the article, it's supposed to detect certain tumors in the blood, because cancer is in the blood, and it's going to detect what kind of cancer you have. And based upon the specific individual, based upon what kind of cancer you have, they're going to be able to create, concoct and create a specific concoction, liquid concoction, starts with the letter V, rhymes with the word machine. They're going to create that concoction, and they're going to inject you with that in 48 hours. Now, I'm not, but maybe you might be an idiot. I'm not an idiot. The fact that they can produce a concoction that quickly lets me know that they're injecting everybody with the same thing. There's nothing specific to your need. Remember, the goal is to get you inoculated. The goal and the agenda is to get you with that mRNA vaccine, the V word, that rhymes with the word machine, is to get that. It's supposed to heal you. It's supposed to correct and reverse disease. I don't think that you can throw in something that's supposed to be quote unquote medicinal without addressing the lifestyles of the people that you are trying to heal. You cannot get rid of dis-ease without addressing the culture that's filled with actions that are not at ease, which is the term where you get the term dis-ease from, because the body is supposed to be at ease. The body is supposed to be at equilibrium. The body is supposed to be in homeostasis. And if you're not in that category of being in balance, all right, you're going to be out of balance. And when somebody is out of balance, that's when you get dis-ease. The FDA, the World Health Organization, they all work together. They all go hand in hand. They're not referring or endorsing things that are going to produce longevity of life. We live in a military-industrial complex, so whatever they can promote that's going to get the military-industrial complex a little bit more richer, they will. Meaning that if it means that we're going to promote foods and say that they're healthy, and we know deep down that they're not healthy, if we're going to promote those kind of foods, it's good for our bottom line. Why? Because when people eat that, they get sick. And when they get sick, they have to lean on the medical industry. And when they lean on the medical industry, they have to lean to prescriptions, which leads into the pharmaceutical industry. And when you lean into the pharmaceutical industry, you become a slave to the pharmaceutical industry. And after you become a slave to the pharmaceutical industry, the medicines that you're taking never actually get to the root symptom. They just make you an addict. You become a drug addict, because after you've taken so many medications, you end up having side effects from those medications. Now you need other medications to deal with those side effects. And so on, it goes on. And then you end up getting side effects from taking too many medications. Now you need to take another medication to deal with the other side effects of the two medications that you were taking. So you become a guinea pig. You become a test dummy. And then eventually you die anyway. Not from your dis-ease, but from the combination of your dis-ease and the toxins that they're providing to you, given the guise or given the name or given the identification as being a medicinal. Okay, so that's what's coming in the near future. Trump has already announced it. He already has guys that are working on it. And it's not even Trump. It's the agenda of the elites. It's the agenda of the controllers. Like I told you guys before, this idea that Trump is going to come in and make America great again, I don't care about Trump or Biden. I've never given a fuck about politics, to be honest with you guys. It's idiotic. But what I do care about is when I see agendas that are being slipped between the cracks. And we can't see those agendas because we're so emotionally involved and emotionally vested into men that we don't know in suits. These men are all characters. These people are picked from a hat. They're chosen. You don't become elected because you worked hard to be the president of the United States. You become elected because you're easily controlled. You're a puppet. Many of these presidents have a lot of baggage, a lot of things in their background that are at best sketchy, things that can be used against them. So most of these men are blackballed. They're blackmailed, and they need to concede to what the controllers want, or else. So they're slaves. They're puppets. That's all they are. They're the face. They are the people that you can take your anger on when your life's not going well, which is ludicrous to me, because to blame one person that you don't even fucking know for your problems. The reason why we have problems in America has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with those who are in control, and those who are in control are not politicians. It's not the government. I've told you guys this plenty of times before. There's a shadow government that supersedes the government that you guys think governs the world or governs the nation. America is an empire. America is the central root, is the hub of the empire, but the empire is global. It's a global network, folks. It's not something that's bound by geographical locations where, okay, we're here in this America and only Americans do things for America. No, it doesn't work that way. It's global, which is why the American military, they're in all these countries. They take over. They've already taken over. The New World Order is already here. So when I hear things like AI, that's something that the Biden administration would have agreed with. The Biden administration agreed with the mRNA vaccines when COVID occurred. They were okay with it. So was Trump. It's not like you're never going to have opposition when it comes to medical stuff, because what they do, they throw their hands up and say, we're going to leave it to the experts. We're going to leave it to the experts. We're going to leave it to the experts. Or the experts say, the CDC says. So who really runs our country? Presidents? No. The medical industry runs our country, because we're a nation full of drug addicts. Illegal or legal drugs. To me, there's no such thing as an illegal drug. Everything is a drug. It's just that what's going to threaten the military-industrial complex? What's going to threaten the American dollar? And if you have people that are making a lot of money using a specific drug, the American government wants to get into that, all right, and infiltrate that sect and make sure that they get a profit from that as well. Marijuana is deemed illegal in certain areas of America, but cigarettes are okay. Like, I don't get that. Cigarettes are riddled with addictive properties, not nicotine, because nicotine is not what's the addictive property. It's the pyrazines that they put in the nicotine. But the point that I'm making with that is that there are many other substances out there that are much dangerous than marijuana, but because marijuana is something that the poor man can profit off of by selling it, the government has to intercede and make sure that they have their hands in it as well. So they make sure they can legalize it in certain states. You know, say that it's supposed to be used for medicinal purposes. Get the pharmaceutical industries to have their hands in it as well. And then that's how you can get things to actually operate for the best interest of the military-industrial complex. And the average man loses out. You have people getting arrested for having marijuana. Like, really? Like, you don't arrest people for having oxycodone or oxycontin. These are things that are prescribed by the medical industry. Many of the drugs that are prescribed by the medical industry become very addictive, and they're dangerous, just as dangerous as the heroin and the cocaine that people are actually using. But because it has a stamp of approval from the pharmaceutical industries, then we deem it to be something that's okay. But yeah, look into that. Artificial intelligence is going to be used to help cure cancer. That's the claim. America's not trying to cure cancer. Cancer is a business. You guys need to wake the fuck up. It's not about cancer. It's never been about cancer. They give you the cancer to make you vulnerable, to make you dependent upon what they give you. It's like the person starting the fire and then coming by to give you fire insurance. America plays both sides. They are the perpetrator. They are the assailant, and they also want to act as the victim when it's convenient for them to get public support for any agenda that they're trying to push. Now, the thing is, cancer is killing everybody. Yeah, cancer is very high in the States because of the way we live, the way we eat. Our diet is poisonous. The water systems are atrocious. I mean, right now, I'm still working on, because we just moved, I'm still working on trying to get a water softener system in our home. And we had one, but we had to move, and it got, the motherboard got broke when we were moving. So I'm waiting for somebody to come reinstall that. And I could tell the difference when I'm taking showers. Now my skin is so itchy. I get ashier faster. I'm starting to break out in hives. Like, the water system is poisonous. We cook with poisonous water. The water itself that comes out of your tap water is riddled with a bunch of carcinogens. So our whole country is inundated with cancer-causing agents. And yet you're trying to manufacture a vaccine to get rid of cancer. I mean, if you guys believe that, then there's no hope for humanity, because it sounds good. It sounds good. Oh, they're gonna create this for this. They don't care. If it's free and it's given to everybody, it's for your own destruction. Put it that way. If something is given out by the government and it's free, and they're giving it out to the masses, it's for your own destruction. What do we see that's given out to the masses? We see certain medical procedures that are deemed to be safe and effective. They tell you to get your flu shot, they tell you to get this, they tell you to get that. Yet people still get the flu, yet people still get sick. People still die. The only person that can take care of yourself is you. You are your own doctor. You can't leave it up. You cannot leave it up to the medical industry to take care of you. You have to be very, very intentional with what you put in your mouth, how you eat, how you sleep, exercising, detoxing, staying away from bad foods, bad drugs. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't eat out every damn day. Eating out every day is a death sentence, because 99.9% of restaurants out here, the foods that they make and the way that they make them, the way that they prepare them, the oils that they use are all carcinogenic. All right? The kind of meats, the way they cook the meats. I mean, everything we do causes cancer. So you can't get rid of it. It's always going to be here, because you can inject people with as many concoctions of the V word that rhymes with machine as you want. It's not going to eliminate cancer, because the behavior of our society is cancerous. It's kind of like taking 2 steps forward, but you're taking 2 steps back. You don't go anywhere. You're back in the same place. There's something wrong with us. We just love that V word that rhymes with machine. We just love it. People will run out in droves to get shot the fuck up, because there's something wrong with our brains. And I think people who stopped thinking a long time ago, who stopped questioning things, I think there's a small mass of people that actually ask questions, that are very skeptical by nature. And I think that's a gift. And I think that there are a lot of people who've just given off their soul to the system. They just wholeheartedly believe that whatever the government manufactures, whatever the government says, however they say it, whatever they do is for the best interest of humanity. But people who govern you and rule over you are never looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their best interest, because they want to keep the power. Why can't you guys see that? No one could be your daddy. No one could be your mommy and take care of you, but you got to take care of yourself. The government can't take care of your children better than you. Like, the point I'm making with that analogy is that you have to take care of yourself to the best of your ability with what you know. Relying on the government, how they use the matrix media to brainwash the minds of the masses, all of that stuff is engineered and strategically done. And anyone who goes out and speaks and goes against the status quo is going to be deemed as somebody who's crazy. You're going to be ostracized. You're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be maligned. People are going to make fun of you and talk and slander you, even just to make you look a little bit crazier, because they're already going to deem everything that you say as being crazy, because you're not saying what's popular. Whatever is popular is not coming out of your mouth. You're saying something that's different. You're causing problems. And that's the society that we've actually enabled. We've actually cultivated a society that punishes people or penalizes people for actually speaking out, or not even speaking out. Because when you say the word speaking out, it has with it a negative connotation, sort of have a stigma to it when you use the word speaking out. When you have a different opinion than the masses. So if the majority of people think that the V word that rhymes with machine is safe and effective, the few people that don't believe in that are deemed to be troublemakers. You're deemed to be spreading misinformation. they categorize people who use their social medias to spread information as spreading disinformation, and then they tell you you can't listen to everything on the internet, yet they're using the same internet to purport and push their agenda. So if I'm not supposed to listen to anything on the internet, am I supposed to still listen to you? Who are you to tell me what to listen to? So yeah, AI, artificial intelligence, is going to be used to cure cancer. They're going to run tests because the cancer is in your blood, because the tumor's in your blood. They're going to run tests. They're going to use these sort of weird technological sequences, which is all a bunch of bullshit, because we're not medical experts. We're not. But I know that the way virology works and the way germs work and the way the body works is not what the medical industry touts. The whole medical industry is built on a false system. Going back to their whole system is based upon germ theory, and it's made millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, because they're not into curing symptoms. They're not into curing causes. They're into dealing with surface symptoms, never dealing with the cause, because they want you dependent upon them. The whole thing is a fucking lie. Excuse my French, and I hate cursing. I get so upset. We are living in a lie, but we can't see it. And when people like me say something, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're one of those crazy people that's anti this. They have categories for people like me, and that's the problem. We put too many people into these classifications, and these innumerable classifications actually causes more problems, because now you have, what are you? What are you labeled? Now we have a label war. Then we become tribal, and when you become tribal, you become divided, and when you become divided, you become easily conquered. That's all a psychological operation that's used by the controllers. The controllers know us better than we know ourselves, because the controllers are extraterrestrial at core. They're not human. They're far more intelligent than us. It's kind of like we're the lab rats. They know what to do. They know what to. It's kind of like an equalizer. They know what to push up and push down. It's like a control board. They know exactly the buttons to push to get society riled up. Just like the fake weather systems that they use. But you idiots think that this is real snow, because it gets hard. That's not real snow. Real snow is supposed to be soft and light. This kind of stuff gets hard. That's not snow. That's called chemically nucleated snow. And what's in those chemicals is what's causing it to have that description of, when you see, they call it black ice. Black ice is not supposed to be a symptom of snow. That's chemical nucleated garbage. That's toxins. That's surfactants and desiccants, because that's what makes it hard and makes it slippery. That's not snow. Snow's supposed to come soft, dissipate, and just go away. It's not supposed to just stick around like that. But anyway, man, that's my spiel, man. AI. So tell me what you guys think about artificial intelligence being used as a means to cure cancer. So we'll see. All the cancer gone. Do you know how many people are gonna run get those shots and still die of cancer? Or they may die of the shot. They're trying to evade death, but not knowing that you're introduced. Because why is the world hell-bent on getting everyone injected with this mRNA concoction? I don't get it. Now they're using cancer as a means to incentivize getting the concoction. They've used COVID already. Now recently they've been talking about this this bird flu, saying how deadly that is. They want you to get a concoction for. They want you to get inoculated for that. So it's always something that they keep drudging up. And these diseases that they keep talking about are saying, oh, it's zoonotic. And every time something happens, the easiest thing to do is blame it on nature or blame it on animals. Oh, it's nature, it's wildfire, we can't control it, we don't know where it's coming from. It's nature. Bullshit. Or they'll say, we don't know where these diseases are coming from. It comes from animals, it comes from cows, it comes from pigs, it comes from birds, it comes from chickens. No, it doesn't come from those things. It comes from men who are creating these diseases in a laboratory. And I want you to get this. This is when you may want to this is when I might be indicted as being a conspiracy theorist here. This is just me thinking deep into into different possibilities, and I just want you guys to consider it for a second. Could it be that the diseases and the names that they give out, like when they say H1N1 virus, or they say the COVID, or when they say cancer, and we're going to give you a vaccine for this and a vaccine for that, could it be that the medical practices or medical practice or the medical procedure that's being espoused as being the remedy to rectify an ill, could it be that, just a question, could it be that what they're giving you is the disease? So give you an example. They say, oh, take this concoction, take this inoculation into your arm, roll up your sleeves, get injected, because this is going to protect you from this bird flu virus, or whatever they call it, right? Because they always have to attach an animal to it, right? They call it a bird flu virus. So we want you to get this inoculation to get rid of, so you don't become susceptible to this highly contagious virus that's so infectious and it's going to kill you. Get this so you don't get it, so you don't get sick. Could it be that what you're getting is the virus? And could it be that we, the people, are the virus to the controllers? I want you to think about that for a second. There's a lot of symbolism in what's done to us. And you have to look beneath the surface and think deeper than what they want you to think. Because remember, they're teaching you what to think. They're not teaching you how to think. If they can tell you what to think, then they control your mind. Think about it for a second. There's always a virus that's coming out every so often. Every 5 to 10 years, there's this new virus that's going to plague humanity and kill all of us. It's going to be doomsday, all right? Then the medical industry swoops in like the superheroes to save the day. They're going to go into a lab and use all these experts. They love to use the word experts because using experts means that we're going to say experts because we understand that when we use that term experts, it's going to stop you guys from thinking. It means that you guys are going to willfully give your brain away to these experts in lab coats, and whatever they say is what you're going to concede to. So this is what happens. They say experts, and the experts come in like the superheroes to save the day. They concoct this medical procedure. Then I remind you, remember, we live in a cancerous world where the culture of cancer rules the day. There's an alcohol store in every corner. There's junk food restaurants everywhere. There's McDonald's everywhere. All these things are death agents. So all of a sudden, the government cares about people living longer and being healthy. Well, if they wanted people to be healthy, they would have been from the get-go supporting farmers who actually are trying to do the right thing. But now, it's hard to do the right thing. Now they have to mass produce crops and spray them with all these pesticides to get mass production and grow their crops in an inorganic way. And I could go on and on about that. If the government truly cared about people's health, they would incentivize healthy living. There are many things they can do, but they don't do that. They don't do that. They incentivize junk. They push for things that are destructive to us. But all of a sudden they want to promote something that's going to help us become healthy. No, it doesn't align. There's something missing there. And when those gaps are evident, and I can't buy anything that you're saying, I can't believe anything that you're saying. I have to truly believe that you have an agenda. And that's why I'm coming to my own conclusion that what they're giving you is what they're telling you that you're going to get. mRNA, have we heard all the horror stories of the little children who go get those things done to them when they're little, to get all their little inoculations? Have we heard about the things that happens to them? What about their story, especially young boys? Because young boys, from a chromosome perspective, they have less chromosomes than women, girls. So a lot of boys, especially a lot of white males, they come out with so much socio-communicative disorders due to this thing that they're saying that if you take it, it's supposed to make you healthy and make sure that you're okay. If a child is born and is encapsulated by the protective layers of the placenta in that protective area called the womb. The womb is not artificial. The womb is natural. Breast milk is not artificial. Breast milk is natural. Sunlight is not artificial. Sunlight is natural. Yet those three things are artificially used as a means to make money. They have this certain light. After a kid is born, they put the kid under the light. Well, when a kid is born, the mother's supposed to be in a squatting position. You're supposed to put the kid underneath the sun. Then they tell you to give your kid formula. Formula is the worst thing you can give your child. Breast milk can cure everything. Your breast milk is like liquid gold. Like, the whole industry is backwards. It's a death cult. I've always said that. But it's subtle, because the minds of the people have been number one, the minds of the people have been raped, robbed. Your mind has been taken away from you, and you've been given information, and you've been given a platform or a system to abide by. And so when you abide on a wrong system, you're not even on the right system to even think clearly. You are in a wrong system. So when you are in a wrong system, no matter how hard you try to think clearly and use your common sense, you're always going to come out with a wrong conclusion, because you are on a wrong system. Number one, you have to understand that the whole system is flawed. Once you come to that foundational premise, then everything that's given to you starts to make sense. There's no way in hell that anything artificial is going to be good for you. Artificial intelligence being used to cure cancer with inoculations that they stick in your arm, and they're going to give you one that's specifically made for your type of cancer in 48 hours. Does that even make sense? It sounds good to those who are desperate. It sounds good to those who haven't taken control of their lives, who don't use foods to cure ailments. There are many anti-carcinogenic foods. There are many anti-inflammatory foods. There are many foods that are anti-carcinogenic. There are many foods that will heal you. Foods kill and foods heal. Plenty. But we don't talk about that, because if we talk about that, then the medical industry they can't really push anything. And the average person is eating burgers and hot dogs every day, eating junk, fries, fried foods, oily, greasy foods. They're eating all that junk every day. They're not looking up into anything that's healthy for them. But the minute the government says we're going to give you something to cure something, they run to that. You're an idiot. You're a guinea pig. That means that you're already dead, and you're allowing them to actually kill you faster. You become a slave to the system. You have to take ownership of your life and start to make decisions with intentionality to say, look, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do that, and live off that. Live off of that principle. Not, oh, the government's going to come and save the day, they're going to cure cancer. When does the government ever give a fuck about people with cancer? Cancer is a money-making industry. It's $1 million, it's almost $1 billion industry. Like, they don't want to cure cancer. But if they can use cancer as an incentive to get people to get an inoculation, as mRNA shot in their arm, then they're going to use cancer for that. Cancer is a buzzword. Cancer sells. So if we want to push something, use cancer. That'll get people's attention, because a lot of people are dying of cancer. And if you got that thing in you, you got to get that thing in you. If you got that cancer in you, you got to get that other thing in you. Take care, guys. That's my spiel. Tell me what you guys think. Till the next time I see you guys. Peace. And remember, your health is your wealth.